Ladies and gentlemen, my eyes are feeling a bit sensitive, so just have to cover them up a little bit. But the one thing that's consistent in life is change. And even though it's exciting, it can be daunting. And because of that, you have to carefully manage change. And you need to understand the critical elements of change management. See, sometimes change occurs in response to maybe external forces and can be disruptive, or sometimes in special cases traumatic. And because of that, people who are involved tend to be highly resistant to this change, even though it will be good for them, or even though sometimes they may even perceive that it's good for them. It's important that whoever you are, if you're trying to effect change, you recognize the different types of the change process. You recognize different things that are involved in the change process, and you recognize how each case plays out. So for example, in an organization or an institution, change could be strategic, it could be operational, it could be radical, where you have to change things really quickly. Or it could be incremental, paced, you take your time, you do the change. Sometimes it could be a whole organizational restructure, so like a structural change or something. Or the way you do things, operational change. Sometimes it could be because you're trying to cut costs, maybe economical downturn or something, so cost cutting. In our case, with what's happening with the energy crisis, some people may have to go through the change of conserving energy if we want to make sure that the energy reaches out. So we need to go through positive change of reducing the energy we use or reducing energy output. So that could also be a type of change, so cost cutting. It could also be cultural, maybe our attitude towards work or our attitude towards the way we relate with each other. Whatever it is, before you can undergo any type of change process, you need to prepare the people who are being affected by the change for it. It's very, very, very important. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem. Otherwise, you're going to resist the change. It's important that you understand, remember the why, what, how, why the change is necessary, what it is that we're about to change, and how this change will benefit them, or in some cases, how it will affect them. It has to be clear. They have to be clear about it before they even engage in this change process. We need to understand a systematic approach for creating and effecting this change or implementing this change. Otherwise, we're already lost before we even start the change process. Now, it's important that you recognize the importance of communicating throughout all phases of any change effort. Remember, we've always talked about communication, communication, communication. If you're not communicating, you're already shooting yourself in the foot. So why we're changing this, what we're changing, how it will affect you, has to be consistent. You need to consistently remind people of the whys. You need to consistently remind people of the pain points. You need to consistently remind them of the vision that you're working towards as they effect this change. You need to understand also and address people's reaction to that change. So while you're implementing those changes, as people react, as people change, as people rebut some of the things that you put in place, you need to always come back, take an objective look, and understand why is it they are reacting this way. Don't assume that they don't want the change because they are lazy, or they don't want the change because it doesn't affect them, or they don't want the change because they're selfish. There may be a legitimate reason why. Remember, we talked about complaining yesterday, and you need to take those complaints and figure out what it is that is making them react that way and understand it well so you can address it appropriately. Now, during a change, since change can be daunting and since change sometimes can be stressful, it can sometimes be very stressful for you as a leader or the person implementing the change, and you need to take care of yourself. You need to make sure that you are well grounded and consistent in this change process. Otherwise, you'll burn out before the change even happens. And that's not good, especially if you're in the position to effect that change. That's not good. You need to be consistent, you need to be well-tempered, you need to make sure you're taking care of yourself so you stay consistently pushing and driving that change. Now, when implementing any change in any type of organization or institution, there are a few things that you need to be careful of. you need to first and foremost make sure that you implementing the change, you breathe and live the principles of the change that you're trying to effect. Which means as a leader, you need to be effective. And when you're doing change or you're effecting change in any organization, there has to be effective leadership in every different level of the organization or institution or country or wherever it is you're trying to do the change. So all the way from the top to the bottom, all the way from the bottom to the top, there should be different levels of leaders who are living, breathing, and consistently moving through that change. And that was the type of situation that happened with the successful process that was done in the Small Undong movement in Korea and a number of other change projects that have been done. You need to also ensure that you have the elements of motivation, because you need to motivate the individuals that you're getting to be part of that change, to move in that change, who will be affected by that change. They need to be consistently motivated. How do you motivate them? With the whys and the whats. With the whys and the whats. They see the vision, they consistently remember the vision, and then they constantly remember the pain points or the incentives. Those things have to be reminded about them. They have to be communicated. You have to motivate them to keep consistent. And like I said, always there has to be consistent communication and collaboration between the two bodies for change to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, change management and the ineffective management of change is the reason why most projects in Africa fail. So let's try to take time to understand what change management is about so that we can become more successful as we transform our nation forward. Stay empowered.